Vibe coding, the end of the technical barrier. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and explore a massive paradigm shift in how everyday people are building software literally without writing a single line of code. We're entering an era that is completely redefining what it means to create technology, and it's something that's going to impact absolutely everyone, regardless of your technical background.
So, have you ever had a brilliant idea for an app, maybe a custom tool for your business, or just a way to automate a really frustrating workflow, but you instantly gave up because you just don't know how to code? For decades, that's been this deeply frustrating reality for most of us. The technical barrier to entry was basically a massive, unscalable brick wall. You either had to spend years learning incredibly complex syntax, or you had to shell out tens of thousands of dollars to hire someone who did. But what if I told you that brick wall just completely vanished?
Well, that wall is officially being torn down by a newly coined concept called vibe coding. As defined by tech voices like Simon Willison and sources like IBM, vibe coding is the practice of building software simply by expressing your intent to an AI in plain English. You don't need to read or write the actual code manually. Think of it like being the architect of a house. You don't need to know how to actually swing the hammer or pour the concrete. You just need to be able to clearly explain to a master builder exactly what you want the house to look like and how it should function. In this case, the AI is your master builder. And hey, this isn't just some gimmick for beginners either. Listen to this quote from Andrej Karpathy, who is one of the world's top artificial intelligence researchers. He recently talked about how he fully gives into the vibes and forgets that the code even exists. He literally just sees stuff, says stuff, runs stuff, and copy-pastes stuff, and it mostly works. I mean, if one of the greatest technical minds on the planet is treating this as a magical, low-friction way to quickly build tools and prototypes, you can really start to see why this is such a monumental shift for the rest of us. Let's put some real, tangible value on this, okay? $220,000. That is the estimated annual savings of the Peninsula School District in Washington State. How did they pull that off? Simply by vibe coding their own internal digital tools instead of buying expensive off-the-shelf vendor software. To put that into perspective, the educators and staff at Peninsula are just the perfect example of what happens when non-technical folks are empowered to solve their own problems. They didn't go to some grueling multi-year coding bootcamp. Instead, using AI platforms, they built a tool called Lesson Lens, where teachers can upload videos of their instruction for AI feedback. They customized open-source electronic signatures, and they even built an app that automatically combs the internet for student scholarships. Get this, a former middle school science teacher built a strategic planning app for the school board in just a few hours. That's a tool that would have cost up to $40,000 a purchase from a vendor. They really proved that this isn't just a toy, it is a profound problem-solving mechanism. And this kind of success is happening across pretty much every industry. Fractional CTO Justin McKelvey recently reviewed 10 real-world vibe coding projects, and the immediate practical benefits are honestly immense. Everyday people are completely transforming their workflows. A consultant replaced a monthly Squarespace subscription with a free vibe-coded marketing site, saving over $400 a year. A non-technical ops manager built an internal dashboard that is literally saving their sales team 10 hours every single week. A founder secured a $500,000 seed round using an MVP prototype built this way. And a volunteer built an entire event registration system for a nonprofit that seamlessly handled over 2,000 signups. When the stakes are low, the immediate return on investment is just staggering.
But, and this is a massive but, you absolutely have to know where the magic stops. There is a very clear sweet spot for vibe coding, and it involves narrow scope. We're talking internal tools, single user types, standard interfaces, and absolutely no payments. On the flip side, you have the danger zone. That's when you step into payment processing, complex multi-user permissions, sensitive user data, or applications that need to scale up to thousands of simultaneous users in real time.
Because when you ignore those boundaries, things get incredibly risky very fast. McKelvey's review highlighted some pretty stark warnings of what happens when vibes go terribly wrong. One founder built an e-commerce store with AI but accidentally exposed their secret Stripe payment keys directly in the browser. That was a massive security breach that cost $3,500 to rescue. Another SaaS app allowed users to bypass server-side authentication entirely, costing $8,000 to fix. The absolute worst was a marketplace app that dropped 15% of successful payments, resulting in duplicate charges and a very painful $15,000 professional rescue. The hard truth here, when you touch money or security, professional human review isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely mandatory.
So why do these disasters actually happen? Well, it's because AI-generated code optimizes for readability and basic correctness, not performance or complex architecture. The AI is going to build you something that looks visually complete and works perfectly when you're the only one testing it. But under the hood, you can easily end up with fatal performance flaws. For example, an AI might write a database query that works great for 10 users, but completely crashes your entire application the very second you hit 500 users.
What we're witnessing here is a complete inversion of what makes someone valuable in tech. A recent research paper analyzing software engineering in the age of AI maps this shift out perfectly. In the 2010s, the value used to be heavily weighted at the bottom, memorizing syntax and manually typing out code. Well, that part is entirely automated now. Fast forward to the 2025 paradigm, and human value has moved straight to the top, designing the big picture, orchestrating the system, and verifying that the AI actually did its job correctly. So, moving forward, success really relies on 4 new pillars. First up, intent articulation. Can you clearly explain your goals and constraints in plain English? Second, systematic verification. Can you effectively test and double-check the AI's work? Third, multi-agent orchestration. Can you act as the manager for different specialized AI tools that are working together to complete a complex task? And finally, human judgment. Taking real accountability for the business and ethical outcomes of what you're building. You're no longer just a coder typing on a keyboard, you're a manager directing a digital team. Okay, so how do you actually start doing this today, especially if you have absolutely zero technical background? IBM outlines a really simple 4-step process. First, choose an AI platform. Tools like Replit, Cursor, or Bolt are incredibly popular right now. Second, define your intent with a clear, highly specific prompt. Describe exactly what you want the tool to do. Third, refine it. The AI gives you a first draft and you just talk back to it. You say, hey, make this button blue, or add a search bar right here, and you iterate through that feedback. And finally, review it, ideally with a technical friend if it's going public, and ship it. It's an incredibly fluid, natural conversation.
And this is exactly why you absolutely cannot afford to wait to learn this. As Simon Willison points out, the incredibly steep learning curve of traditional coding has been shaved completely flat. The days of needing a 4-year computer science degree just to build a functional prototype, those are over. If you jump in right now, you leapfrog those old barriers and gain a massive competitive advantage. But if you wait, you're simply going to be left behind while your peers automate their business ideas instantly.
The gatekeepers are officially gone. That old technical wall has been utterly demolished. So, since the barrier to entry is now completely flat, what is stopping you from opening up an AI platform, automating your most frustrating workflows, or finally building that dream project today? The tools are literally ready and waiting for your instructions. Go build something amazing. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.